Hi, I'm Tracy,
And I'm Lonnie.
and we're one last step, and we're so excited today to give you a reader question, actually a
Yes,
listener question, or what we call our friends questions, questions from
friends.
friends. So welcome to the first episode of Questions from
Your friends.
Friends.
Dum, dum, dum.
So this question comes from Elizabeth, and she wants to know, how can older women be of help to younger mothers? She's not wealthy, she's not physically strong, but she wants to help specifically young mothers. And so today we're going to give you 25 ways that older women can boost younger mothers. So let's go ahead and get started with the
Yes.
first one. You want to get started?
Yeah, that'd be great. So, first one is mentoring. So, that's just kind of helping them out, kind of sharing what they have experienced and kind of leading them down the path of what they have done and learned from their mistakes and kind of guiding them.
Yeah, I've had some really amazing mentors in my life. Some of them I've actually paid for. So if you're doing it for free, thank you.
Awesome.
That's awesome. But I mean, you could pay thousands of dollars for a mentor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so nice whenever anyone is just kind of volunteering to help out. So I think that's a wonderful one. The next one is just being emotional, just being an emotional support, like just being there whenever they need an ear, a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen. Just be there for them.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone to listen.
Yes.
It's tough. It's harder
You're
to
a good
find anything.
listener.
Well, yeah, so are you.
Thank you.
Yes. Number three is practical advice. Just sharing tips on, household tasks and stuff that you do around the house, or that would be advantageous to the young mother. Just what you've done and what you've learned.
Yeah, we can learn a lot from each other. And,
Yeah.
some of the things that your mom or my mom shares with me is really helpful, when I was younger, but also now that I'm getting older as well. So sharing that advice is so critical. The next one, which is my favorite
yeah.
and was always my favorite when the kids
Yes.
were little,
Oh yeah, this was nice.
babysitting. Yes.
Thank you.
I remember mom, mostly mom, but we've had all the family come. My
Yep.
dad had come to babysit, and I know your parents had babysat
Right.
and had the kids over. That would allow us to go
Yeah.
out on a date.
Yeah, some time.
Yeah.
Some time to breathe. Not that we couldn't breathe around the kids, but just you find yourself, young parents, you find yourself just overwhelmed.
Right.
You're learning a new thing, something you didn't train for.
No.
And so, aside from having people be able to babysit and do all the things that we've talked about so far as well, I mean, it gives you an opportunity just to kind of refresh and focus on yourself as a couple.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so important to nurture your relationship as a couple. So, yes, we bring our kids like to everything, like we always have. But sometimes it was nice for mom or for dad or for your parents or whatever, family, anyone to come and just watch the kids for a little bit. It was just so helpful. Even if I was still at home, it would allow me to get some additional tasks done if someone could watch the kids. So babysitting was always my favorite.
Yes, winner. Next one is meal preparation. This, how to cook meals for more than just you is huge, and so how to store it and how to deal with like different types of meals and making healthy meals. I think that's awesome.
Well, and remember when we were younger, we did the freezer meals a lot.
A lot.
So they used to actually have a place where you could go get everything assembled. That they still have them, but they're not as popular as they used to be. But we used to even do it at home where we would like batch meals,
like on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're busy. We're busy. We're working or we're taking care of kids and.
Right. So if you can help with the meals, I mean that would be really helpful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The next one is number 6.
Yes.
And that is like just teaching traditions, things that, have been passed down from culture to generations, right? So my mom has a lot of traditions. She's, from another country. And so I get to listen to all of her amazing, cultural advice and traditions. And I get to choose what I want to implement and what I don't want to implement. But mostly he does. He does the most amazing cooking that he learned from my mom.
Yeah. Great food.
Yep.
I know. Number 7 is encouragement. So positive reinforcement. Helping them feel that hey, you're doing great, and
It's so hard being a
it is.
young mother.
Yeah, especially like first time young mother.
Yeah.
Like just not even, where do you go? What
Right.
do you do? The basics.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When my kids were brought home, when we brought them home from the hospital, we didn't know what we were doing.
I drove like 25 miles per hour down
I
the
know.
road.
People were like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
passing
I was-
us.
yeah, I was
We
like,
were so careful.
go on.
Like, just pass us. Just pass us. We got a baby
Mom
in the
to the
back
right
seat.
as much as I can.
Exactly. I mean, it's so funny.
Most parents do that probably on the first time. It's crazy.
The next one is sharing resources. So if you have things like extra clothes around the house, maybe you have, your kids' clothes or your grandkids' clothes that you're not using, that you can pass that to someone else. That's so helpful. I loved getting my sister's hand-me-downs from her kids for my kids because they were always so like brand name quality type items. I loved those, and those weren't things that we were out buying for our kids. We would actually go to like yard sales and stuff like that, Goodwill, to get the children's clothes when they were young. So it was really nice whenever we could get someone to hand them down to us, and then we would pass them along to our friends, and they just kept going and going and going.
It's quite miraculous kind of see, some clothes kind of move down, like see someone else's kid and like, hey, I know where that came from.
Right.
And you're giving life to it because, that's really cool. So number 9, health guidance. So sharing your knowledge about, health and nutrition and like things that you've learned down to these young mothers so they don't have to struggle through it.
Right.
And they take care of their kids in a better way.
Right. And plus things have changed over time. Also it's also good to listen, not just always to give advice, but to listen as well. There's a lot of new things that are, people are learning these days about nutrition.
Yeah.
That's different than what I learned as a child. Sharing the nutrition advice that you're learning maybe on, the newer things that you're maybe reading some articles about, or maybe you're learning about, just mentioning it. Hey, I heard this thing might be something you might want to be interested in, and here's what I learned about it.
Yeah.
And then also talking about, some of the things that you learned as a child. Like right now, I'm actually drinking some tea for my throat, right? And this recipe that I'm using is all herbal, and it's, passed down from generation to generation. So, sharing those helpful health guidelines is so important.
Oh, yeah.
The next one is number 10. This is networking. This is sharing your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone that can help your friend or this, young mother, then, connect them up. And that just helps everyone get what they need quicker, faster, and with the most expertise.
Oh, totally. I love networking. I mean, it just takes that uneasy step out of not knowing somebody. If someone refers them down to you, then you at least have some comfort.
Right.
Right. Number 11, modeling self-care. So taking care of yourself, and they can see how you're doing that, and then it gives them more comfort and to being able to how to do that and how to take care of themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the best things that you can do for anybody is just be a role model.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it in anyone's faces. You
Nope.
don't have to say this is how you have to do it. You just show it in your life, and people look at it and they go, well, that's interesting. I want to learn more.
Yep. Yeah. I like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
The next one is number 12, offering perspective. So sometimes our young mothers, and even just in general, right, we can all have like something that's going in our life, and having someone that can take a step back and look at it from a broad perspective and maybe perhaps shed a little bit of light on the situation could be helpful. Always when you're asking and when you're giving your perspective, I think it's always polite to ask, hey, can I share this with you? Here's what I'm seeing. But before you just, go out and just
Share.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't actually want to hear
No.
what your perspective is. And so I'm always trying to ask, well, would you like my perspective? Would you like me to, share what I see as someone who is outside of the situation?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not deep in the woods like you are. I'm not, or deep in the weeds. I think that's really the key.
Weedy woods too.
Okay.
Weedy woods.
All
There's
right,
weeds
very
in the
good.
woods. Very bad.
But when you're deep in the weeds, right,
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of lift your head up and look and see your
Right.
perspective.
Yeah,
right?
and it's nice, and you have somebody be able to tell you what they see, and you just can't. You
Right.
just can't in the moment.
Yeah, because
Right.
you're in the
Yeah,
weeds.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being in the weeds because you're just fighting through it.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, number 13. I'm going to
13.
switch here.
All right.
Financial advice. So insights on budgeting, managing, how to save, all that's. I think it's great because I don't think our public education certainly doesn't
Absolutely not.
do anything to serve that, and so
No. There's no classes on
yeah.
budgeting. Maybe if you're lucky, they might have a home ec class still.
They might
maybe.
yeah. If they're doing checkbooks and like nobody's doing checkbook balancing anyways.
Most children don't know anything about budgeting,
Right.
don't know anything about finances. It's
Right.
basically, here's my pot of money,
Yeah.
and what am I going to spend it on?
Right, and they have the additional challenge of the technology now,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's behaviors and stuff on that. Mm-hmm. And so passing down that wisdom's great because they will certainly benefit from it, just managing their money.
Right. And the next one is spiritual support. So offering prayers, offering guidance, helping them see things maybe that they haven't seen in the Bible before, or, and just providing that kind of, support for them. Definitely pray for your friends
Oh, yeah.
and those around you. I think that is probably one of the best things that you can do.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Number 15, we are at household help. Assist with cleaning, laundry, anything else to kind of help lighten the load. It's that in the weeds moment as well. They're trying to keep their household straight as well as take care of, young children. So if you can help out and lighten that load, maybe they can just have a little bit of a reprieve.
Right.
Yeah.
The next one is number 16.
1 and 6. I guess we're getting
Number 16.
3
Transportation.
Yes. Oh.
If you're a good driver, help a girl out.
Yep.
You can help with many different things. So you can, transport their kids to and from places, especially if they're if they're working moms or if they're at home and they're doing something or whatever. Just being someone that can help with the children or even help with them.
Yeah.
I know for many, many years, including now, we really Lonnie and I actually only have one main car that we
Yep.
use.
Yeah.
So that's our transportation. And if he's out doing something, then I can't go do something with the same car, right? Because he's out doing something else. So in the past, I've relied on friends to come pick me up if we're going to do something,
Right.
or if there's, a play date or something I needed to attend. So I would just work it out with them. So being someone that's willing to come pick someone up, I think is a truly a big help.
Or even just going to run errands for them. Maybe they need to pick up something from the pharmacy. Or
Right.
something like
Or
that.
pick up the groceries.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh my. Yeah. Number 17. So I'll do the 7. You do the 1. Give it in there. All right. Childcare swap. Coordinate with mothers to create, kind of a network for sharing childcare. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know somebody or several young mothers and they can help out, I think that's great because childcare is expensive.
Yep.
Man, we experienced that, and now it's been 15. How long has it been? Like over a decade. How about
Since
we'll
we
say
needed
that?
childcare, since we've swapped with people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll say
but
over a decade,
we
so
did
you
swap
guys
with
can-
people.
yeah.
Like, hey, come watch my kids. I'll come watch your kids.
Right.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
But if you don't have children, right, or grandchildren to swap, you can always just do the childcare.
Yeah. Just help out.
The next one is educational support. So any childhood activities, maybe, a homeschooling mom or someone that, wants their kids to come home and do their homework. Maybe you can come and be a tutor for them. Maybe sit down with the children while they're doing their schooling and offer any kind of help that they may need so that mom can go do some of the things that she needs to get done.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because education is definitely different too.
Yeah.
Oh. Whole nother
That's a different
Whole
video.
other video. I was like, okay. Number 19 is crisis intervention. So being available during emergencies to provide immediate support. Things come up. I mean, we experienced that firsthand. We had help. We had like brand new neighbors, and they had something come up, and all of a sudden it's like, can you watch our daughter? It was a daughter, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, sure.
Yeah.
And then it happened again on a cruise.
The reason why you're being kind of like, he's being a little bit like, he hasn't given you the whole story.
Yeah.
So we literally knew her like an hour before a
Right.
crisis happened.
Yeah.
So she was next door to us. She introduced herself to us earlier that day. We were talking, we were having a great time. Kids are small, kids are playing together. It's wonderful.
Right.
And the next thing you know, later that day, there's a knock on her door. She's got to run her kid to the hospital. She leaves her daughter with us. she's, and then she goes to the hospital with her and her husband go to the hospital with her young son.
Yeah.
She didn't know us.
Nope.
So make sure that you know and have a relationship. You never know. Like, we could have been like stalkers or something, or like weird people, I don't know, that take kids. I don't really know, but it was just kind of funny. So that's why he's giving you that look. People do tend to leave their kids with us without even really knowing us.
Yeah.
I
saw, it happened on a cruise too.
Yeah, we were on a cruise, and I think Dad got sick with some kind of stomach. What happened?
He had
to
a
him?
kidney stone.
Oh, wow.
On a cruise. I mean, just
that's too bad. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was just bad.
Yeah, so we were in the cabin next to them, and the kids had been, just kind of playing like
balcony to balcony.
Balcony to balcony.
Yep.
And they were like, "Hey, my husband has to go to the hospital. You take our girl." And we're like, "Sure."
Never.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Yes, so that is being someone that is trustworthy in a crisis situation.
Yeah.
Very helpful. All right, the next one is setting boundaries. Teach those around you, these young mothers, how important it is to not say yes to everything. Right? You can do that as being you can do that yourself by just being a good example and not saying yes to everything that the young mother needs you to help her with, right? You might set some boundaries for yourself, but it's also good to teach them to set boundaries. And I think the best way that you can show that is by having healthy boundaries in your life as well.
Yes. Yep. So number 21 is celebrating milestones. So, kind of help organize like birthdays and christenings and other first steps and things have happened for them, and just kind of being there and showing them that you're doing a great job, and kind of saying, hey, you're doing it. You're doing a great job. You're
right.
Great
or
mom.
being the birthday planner, like the planner, the coordinate, the planner that coordinates everything, right? So if you want to put on a birthday party for a young mother, I can help her with all that coordination, so she doesn't have to call like. Back in the day, it was the Chuck E. Cheese, but now I don't even know what the kids are doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a lot of coordination that's involved in planning children's parties and things like that. We were kind of like chill when it came to most of our children's party. Most of the time, we'd just be like, the pool's in the backyard, here's some snacks.
Yeah.
Or there's a bounce house, in the backyard, go bounce on it, right? So we didn't have a whole lot of those. But occasionally we took the kids to like the jump parks and things like that, where we'd have to coordinate and make sure that we had to, reserve some time.
Send out invites. Sure everyone's there. Kind of keep an eye on everyone, because people drop their kids off. And
you don't even know, like, they drop their kids off. They're like, hey, I'm here for the party. You're like, where's your mom? You have to sign the waiver.
Right. It's like, excuse me, who are you?
Yeah, call mom and have her sign the waiver. All right. So the next one is 22, sharing hobbies. So this is really cool. This is actually helping children like do different activities. So maybe you have a hobby that you're really good at. Maybe you're great at like embroidery or crochet or whatever it is, the scrapbooking, all the fun stuff, right? Bookmaking, there's all kinds of things. I remember that my grandmother used to teach me how to embroider, and that was really fun. I still embroider to this day, but every time I embroider, I remember her. So that's a great way to do some connection as well with the younger ones around you.
I love it. Number 23 is advocacy. So, stand up for the mother when she needs it, like in social situations and healthcare providers. That's a huge thing. So sometimes they're overwhelmed again, and they're here experiencing, a doctor telling them something, and being there to kind of walk them through. It's like, okay, well, this is what this means, and that's what you need to do, or no, you don't have to do that. Or
I mean, even in for us, we're actually we advocate for our children.
Right.
We advocate for our parents. We do a lot of advocacy, because when you're in a situation where you're not feeling good, it's hard to be able to think and make good choices.
It's a tough spot. I mean, you're dealing with pain, and so pain just is not a good thing to cope with while you're making important decisions on care.
Right. So if you could be someone's advocate, that would be really helpful.
Yes.
The next one is encouraging the mother's education. So, some of us mothers, we stay home. That's wonderful, right? But sometimes when we stay home, we don't think about what kinds of things can I do to further my education.
Right.
Maybe there might be something when your children grow up that you want to do, like be a nurse or have your own business or do whatever, right? So encouraging someone to continue their skill set. I remember when I stayed home with my children,
right.
it wasn't planned. We had an emergency situation that required us to have at-home care for our children, and so I stayed at home with them. Well, one of the things I did was I learned how to make websites.
Oh, yeah.
Just on my own.
Oh, man.
You're
ahead of your time.
Well, and that was back in the day when everything had to be done manual. There was no like special website tool that you could just, upload pictures to. Everything was coded. So I taught myself how to do that.
Yeah.
So, but having someone to encourage me would have been really nice. And maybe if you have a skill that you can even share that the woman is interested in, that would be great too.
Yeah, because you don't want her to put 15 years of pause on her life.
Yes.
And you don't want to do that. So
yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to learn something new and feel like they have purpose in their life.
Right.
And that could be maybe learning how to make tea, right? Like we talked about today. I'm constantly learning and constantly growing, and I love to come to have people come alongside me to show me people that have done more research, are better experts than I am, or even someone that is with, just someone that could guide me is so helpful.
It is. So number 25.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, but I do have a bonus one.
We do. Oh, nice. So modeling healthy relationships. So, this is another like just be yourself thing. So, demonstrate, what a healthy, respectful relationship is. And so it's a good model for a young couple with, young kids or young mother, like how a good, healthy relationship is supposed to work and supposed to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
So many of these tips that we gave you are kind of like one-on-one type of activities.
Yeah.
But our bonus one for you is maybe you should start a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So if you started a YouTube channel, you could help one-to-many and share all of your amazing advice. We gave you 25 to start, so you could start, that would be 25 videos for you to share your amazing advice for. So hopefully that's really helpful to you. We hope these steps just help you live your best life. And we hope that you will just take it one blessed step at a time. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.